So I remember the first meet with Gelfand because we were introduced when we arrived. He didn't know that I didn't know anything, so he just asked a question, my age.
So he asked your age?
He asked my age, and then I told him that I am 27. It was 67. He said, okay, this is too old. And so choose some other profession. There are so many other good professions. Of course, he had the reason because he had all these superstar students, Margulis, Kazsdán, even his son. Yes, and his son was good. And a lot of who were 20 or 21, also Bernstein. So, of course, he had the reason to believe that 27, if you want to start, because they already knew that they were superstar.
A great beginning. He told you you are too old, and what happened?
Yeah, that was a great beginning, and I was not surprised. If you see that somebody is extremely, I knew that he is great in something, then you assume, sometimes without any justification, then that person is right with almost everything, not with everything, but also maybe he was right in this, with high probability. So I meditated a little bit, but I am a coward, so I didn't want to change, because then you have to write to the Hungarian authorities and so on and so on. So I stayed with Gelfand.
So did you work with him at all? Did you talk to him because
he realized that I didn't have the background, not even this, because even I didn't have the background in analytic numbers, which is much closer to my taste and most probably to my ability to learn. No, he first told to Kazsdán to talk to me, but Kazsdán is exactly we only immediately realized, and we talked with many other things. He has a very broad interest in other aspects of life. Yeah. And then finally his wife, very nice lady, started to teach me elementary analysis, calculus practically. So that was all, but I would never talked with Israel Mosevich Gelfand about mathematics. We actually talk about paintings, because I had a friend who was a student of Gelfand, and he was a very well educated and very good at judging art. Mm-hmm. And then I always went with him to Gelfand's apartment, so Gelfand sometimes asked me. And actually there is a story which is strange but true, that once he left me alone because he had to run somewhere else, and he had on the wall this very strange abstract paintings. Mm-hmm. And then I went much closer to the paintings, and I could read when the artist painted the paintings. And so there are, let's say 10 abstract paintings, and then let you imagine you are asked the opinion. Of course, from some distance they look all the same. Yeah. Actually, even if you go closer, they are still the same. Actually, what I learned from my daughters who care about my education now, and for instance, if Rothko's picture, you have to look at some distance, very close to the. Then you establish an emotional connection between yourself and the painting. So, but whatever. Right, of course. Daughters are daughters. So, but in this case, I remember the dates, and then I next time I didn't see anything. But when because he liked this painter, it was his favorite painter. I don't know his name. Most probably at that time he was in Russia at a very recognized painter. Gelfand actually had a very good taste, and he knew. So these Russians had the classical education, so they really were good in many things, music and art and written. So then he asked at some point my opinion by chance. I am not sure whether he was really interested or it was just a routine question. Mm-hmm. But then I started to give a lecture, kind of lecture. Okay. Then, at that picture, I am not sure, but it seems to be then the painter doesn't have the full, so all the tools, so technically. but some freshness, I feel, energy. And then as we go further from, because on right to the left, the time is passing. Absolutely, now you see, now it's in full strength, and then later somehow technique is still there, but you don't feel this energy. So after that, I was saved. So all what we did, then we exchanged.
He was amazed. He was.
He was, that he, of course, rightfully didn't assume that I am an expert on art, but didn't question the reason, of course, why I just. So after that, we presented to each other art books. He icons he presented, and at that time in Russia you couldn't buy a book about a painter like Leonardo or whatever, or Bosch. He liked Bosch very much. In Hungary, yes, we had a like Risoli. They have a sequence for each painter, yes, a book alone. So I presented to Gelfand. Actually, I later developed it a little bit further, so I became kind of a, not really smuggler, but I took 10 books, and because I took the train is 1.5 days from Budapest to Moscow, and then I studied. And then strangely enough, although the Russian books were very cheap, but these ones, because they were printed on a white paper which they couldn't reproduce, so you could sell it for a very good price. So somehow, luckily, the interest in art and the financial advantage worked aligned, yes.